So we're moving along with the scenery on the bridge section. It's about time. And I thought this little rock cutting here, before it goes into this tunnel, would be a perfect place for a rock slide shed. I've always liked the idea of these things, and I'm going to mock up one in cardboard to see what it looks like. I've got to make sure, two things are important, that the camera car fits through, because it sits a bit wider, it's wider than the loading gauge, and of course it's fine for double stacks. But the camera car is the main thing, and we've got about 5mm gap there, so that's cool. So I'm going to mock this up in cardboard and see what it looks like. So I'm going to have a go at making a rock slide shed that I've seen on Trackside Tyson's videos on the, I think it's the Columbian River Gorge in Canada, the bowling alley I think they call it. So the idea is to have all of these, about 10 of these, along here like that, and separated with these bits of timber. Another one, 10 along like that, and then obviously a roof section on the top, and then on the side would be pretty tricky, and I think it's a nice looking what they've done. It's a, where's the bit? It's concrete on the side like that, but it's quite nicely shaped here, like a sort of a tunnel portal here, and they'll be going along the whole length. So that's the go, and that's the side like that. Of course that'll go up against the rock face, and the choo-choo will go through there. So we'll make this one out of core flute, which is quite good to work with. Good if you're cutting this way, not so good if you're cutting along the corrugation. You've got to be really careful because it catches knife. Anyway, it's quite strong. We'll glue all that together. We'll put the roof on it. Get this little fancy thing happening down here. We'll make it 10 long. We'll see how it looks. Alrighty, we're zipping along here. And it's going okay. The glue dries on the wood very quickly. So I've got to sort of make sure that I'm pretty quick with that. And it's probably not the ideal thing, to do, but anyway. Right. It works better if you put the hot glue on the plastic first rather than the wood. Let's make sure I haven't gone up too far there. Yeah, because the glue dries very quickly on the wood. And somehow it leaves a gap. I don't know. Anyway, this isn't the ideal way to build this thing, but this is a test. This is a test. The real one, I think I would build out of all timber, or that modelling foam that you make bricks and that out of. You just cannot buy in Australia. You just cannot buy it here. Anyway, these will all be spaced when the roof goes on. Yeah, and then this bit on the other side will be cut out. So we've done the main structure, and we're just cutting out these little windows here. These are the wrong size. They should be bigger, thicker, but the core flute's all I had. And I was going to use MDF. I was going to use MDF, but it was just too much mucking around with the machining. But when I build a proper one, I think it will be MDF, or about 8mm ply. That seems to be about the right scale thickness. So let me go over here like this. Ooh, that one's a bit wonky. I'll fix that. These ones have been really good. So you can see this is a bit thin, but you get the idea. There's definitely a rock slide shed that looks similar to this with the roof coming over. And there's also another one. These are arches. But I thought this is pretty cool. So anyway, we'll finish this and we'll see how it turns out. Well, here it is in all its glory. I've already decided that these are too small, so I'm going for this next time. This is 8mm instead of 6, and I'm reducing this by 10mm. Look, it doesn't matter, they're all different, but I just like the idea of this being a little bit bigger. You'll be able to see little bit more of the locos, not that that matters, but yeah. And even though the core flute and the was a bit hard to work with, it's not very accurate. This goes up and down a little bit. A couple of the stanchions that went back here are out 1 or 2 mil. The knife cutting everything, but the next one will be more accurate. And yeah, it's not bad. I'll give it a bit of a paint. And the idea why this cardboard didn't come down to here, I'm thinking of putting a strip, obviously one that fits in along there. So maybe they've put a extra retaining wall or bracing along the bottom here as a bigger footing. So that's why that didn't go to, that's why they don't go to the end. So I might just glue a little bit of cardboard along there to replicate a bit more foundation work here. But yeah, that's not too bad. I'll get that painted. And oh, I need to put a bit along the rock wall here for it to fasten to, because it's just sitting there at the moment. So well, there we go. This is it, pretty much finished. My first attempt at a rock slide shed, and it's okay. The next one will be like that, a little bit skinnier, a little bit taller. So that's the next one, and made out of wood. But for a first off, I don't think it's too bad. Here it is, trendsetters. It's not too bad for a mock-up. Now, of course, normally they would be another support at the back here, but I didn't have enough room. This was never really designed for this. Also, of course, you wouldn't have a rock slide wall with the top of the wall finishing here. But anyway, I just thought this was a good, easy spot to try it and to try the prototype. And of course, the wall, this cliff face would have to be a lot taller. But anyway, it sort of fits in here okay. I really like it. You can get some really nice shadows through here. And these arches turned out better than what I thought. Of course, the new one will have higher arches, as we said before. They'll be up here somewhere. So I prefer this sort of shape there, this size here. And looking at the videos from Trackside Tyson, a guy who films in the Canadian Gorges a lot, that they're a little bit more this, but they're all different. They're all different. But the next one, of course, this will be a little bit wider and made out of, well, I did say ply or MDF, but I'm really hoping I can get that foam, high density polyurethane that you can carve or impress concrete molds and all that sort of stuff in, you know, lines from where they've sheeted up with the form ply. Very hard to get down here, very expensive. But you know, the cardboard has actually lines in it, but they're too even, you know, they're not quite right. But it's okay for a prototype. Where's the camera? There it is there. So tell me what you think. Normally, the next one will have a back on it, but you know, I'm sure somewhere they've built one without a rear concrete section on it and just anchored it into the wall. And also tell me, should I cover this in plaster to get rid of all the corrugations that you can see from the cardboard, and keep it and put it somewhere on the new layout, you know, really weather it and get rid of this along here, maybe put a different sort of edge on it here? Give me your thoughts. So for a first prototype mock-up, it's okay, and not in the right spot, but you know, it's all right for someone who doesn't build structures. In the next layout update, part 31, we have a go at colouring some rocks, and I show you my technique, how I get the colour into my plaster rocks, and how every time is slightly different. So join us for that one. Well, what's Chicken Man going to do now? So let me know what you think. Do we tart this thing up and keep it on the layout and put it here for the next 8 months or so? Behind here, because there's no back support, I'm going to terrace the rocks so they've been like carved out and blasted out in more of a formal way to make that a little bit better inside there. And the next video, on update number 31 I think it is, we'll be colouring some of these rocks. So we've done the shaping of the rocks. I think I'm getting a bit better at shaping these handmade rocks. Now of course it's really hard to replicate stuff like this, moulds where you have so many intricate little bits. So I think the moulds still have their place, but I think for normal sort of big rocks around here at the back, I think that looks pretty good once you get the sort of hang of it, and some photos really help. So the next video will be, I'll show you how I colour these rocks here. Every time's different, colouring rocks as well. I try to do the same thing, I get different results. It's unbelievable. So that's coming up in a week or two, and give me your thoughts on the old rock slide shed. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Hooroo for now. Bye-bye.